Welcome to the Rad Round Show. I'm your host, Rad Round, the poster child for ADHD. The vibe for today's episode is weird. Finland weird. Let's get into it, everybody. Welcome, everybody. So, how did I get on the subject of Finland? Well, I have a favorite creator podcast called Colin and Zamir Show. They had one of my favorite YouTube creators, Johnny Harris, on there and his wife. They let us slip that Finland is trending and that they are going to roll out a video on Finland. So I don't usually chase trends, but when Johnny Harris says something like that, I'm interested. I didn't know anything about Finland anyway, so I decided, well, why not? Let's look into it. And man, am I glad I did. Finland is a weird place. Let's talk about Finland, shall we? Finland is located in Northern Europe between Sweden, Russia, and Norway. But a big mistake is to refer to Finland as Scandinavia. I don't know why, but the YouTube creators that did episodes on Finland that were talking about the geographic location of it, they all said, do not mix it in with Scandinavia. I don't know why, but that's what they said. Somehow it's offensive, so that's fine. I don't want to aggravate and, pee off an entire country, so no big deal. Now let's get into the good stuff. Culturally, Finland is very different from America. For starters, Finns do not engage in lots of conversation verbally, so when you are in public, you do not hear a lot of talking. Why? Because they are big respecters of persons' space, and for example, if you are looking for an apartment or buy a house in America, a realtor will go through the house with you, point out features in the house, and answer questions you have about the house, and so on and so forth. In Finland, the realtor is going to unlock the door, open the door, let you go through the whole house or apartment yourself. They're not going to ask any questions. They're not going to answer any questions. They're not going to point out anything. They're going to let you absorb it yourself, come up with your own conclusion, and that's that. Very interesting, right? More funny than that, because they are such a private and respectful people, when neighbors are disputing, they never verbalize it. This is very interesting. Instead, your angry neighbor who might be unhappy with, say, for example, your noise level or like your messy front lawn or whatever the issue is that is causing the dispute, the offended neighbor will never talk to you about it verbally. Instead, most disputes are handled with handwritten notes. As said issue with neighbor is not resolved, the notes get meaner and nastier and angrier. As funny as that sounds, this is a serious repercussion in some cases. In fact, some neighbors have not talked to each other for like 20 years because of this offense. If you do not correct the issue, even though they're just writing handwritten letters, they will not communicate with you anymore. That's crazy. Here in America, we're so verbal about things. Hey, your dog crapped on my lawn. Hey, your tree's dropping limbs in my yard. Why don't you cut that down for me? Hey, your daughter keeps blocking my driveway with her car. We just talk about it. We try to hash it out that way. Very interesting. So this next thing was really interesting, I thought. So here in America, it's not uncommon to wave or nod at passersby on your run, your walk, or just riding your bike, hiking, whatever it is. Usually you say hi or nod to each other in one form or another. It doesn't exist in Finland. If us Americans were to exhibit that behavior in Finland, you would not get a response back. They have this weird etiquette of respect of a person's personal space, and they would be totally weird out by the waving or nodding as a passerby in Finland. So you get one or two responses. One guy said, "Daddy," Big Daddy or something like that. He's in Finland. He works there. He's an American, and he says, on his walk, he would nod or wave, and you get one or two responses. Either they shrink away and look away from you, or they'll stare at you like, "Wait, like, dude, like, why are you nodding at me? Like, what's wrong with you?" Very interesting, I thought. So for all intents and purposes, Finland is a very safe country for everybody, including women. And women there are fiercely independent. They don't expect any help from men or anybody for that matter, no matter what the situation is, they will not ask for help. They will just not do it. And they do not expect help. So this gentleman, kind gentleman thing we have in America would like be really weird to them. If you did that there. Very interesting, I thought. So let's talk about some more weird stuff in Finland. First off, sandwiches, bread, meat, cheese, bread, not a thing there. They don't have sandwiches in Finland. That's totally not a thing. Soda is also not really a thing. Well, soda fountains, that's really not a thing there either. The soda they have there is always in bottles, and they're not free refills like in America. We have soda fountains, you get free refills. There, it's totally opposite. So, yes, you can buy a bottle of soda, but the thing that is refillable and more common in Finland is milk. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, milk is on tap. It's crazy. So, and the milk is free refills. So, every place you go, it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, milk. Soda, you can get soda if you want, but it's like a special luxury or something. They don't do the soda fountain. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And milk it's like the opposite. Milk here is usually, if we're ordering in a restaurant, sometimes you can get a glass of it, but usually it's in a bottle, and you got to pay for another bottle if you want it. So I don't know. I thought that was cool. Also, another thing in Finland is air conditioning is not a thing there. So the ones that have air conditioning there are usually American transplants that have came there, but I think it has something to do with their weather and saving energy costs. So most houses do not have air conditioners. It's a very cold place a lot of times up there, and there's a lot of snow. But it gets warm too, but air conditioners are just not a thing there. Also, I found out that Finnish people in Finland, they spend a normal amount of time outside, no matter what it is, sunny or warm or frigid, cold. Going outside, it doesn't matter. They're always outside. It's a huge part of their culture. It could be the weather is very weird there. It can be dead of summer and warm one day, and then the next day, in the dead of summer, it could be like a blizzard and snowing. Very strange. They also have sunlight for days on end, so it doesn't get dark at night. Sometimes also the opposite. It's dark for long periods of time where it doesn't get sunlight. So maybe that's why they're so different there culturally. But another thing I learned about the Finnish people is that, I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know if Finnish people is right, but I'm hope I'm not offending anybody by saying that. But cleanliness is super important there. It's one of the most cleanest countries in the whole world. There's no pollution. They're big on recycling, littering. The houses are kept super tidy and clean. It's a big part of their culture. Also, the really, really strange thing is sauna. It's how do you say it? Sauna. So we call them saunas, but sauna. There, everybody has a sauna. From poor, they all use a sauna. From poor to rich, it doesn't matter. They all have saunas there, and the customary way to use a sauna is naked. So it is very common to, if you're in a public sauna or anything like that, they don't generally mix the genders. There's usually a male sauna and a female sauna, and everybody has saunas at their personal residences as well. But no one's wearing clothes. You're going to see some naked Finnish guy no matter what. That's just how they are. That's part of their culture. As Americans, we'd like throw a towel on or some swimsuit, but nah, that's not a thing there. But it's a huge part of their culture. Everybody has one. Also, they're speaking. When they speak, they have a weird thing that they do where to emphasize certain words in their language and in English, and like everybody speaks English there. They suck in as they say a word. There we go. I did it. on certain things they will suck in like that to emphasize it, which is very strange. Totally. And when they speak English, it gets even weirder. So it's interesting to hear them speak it to each other in their own language, but then when they try to do it in English and they suck in while they're trying to say a word, it's very weird and takes a lot of Americans off guard. So anyway, this is what I learned about Finland. There's so much more about their candy and food and specific things. I could do a whole nother episode on Finland if I want to, and I might someday. We'll see. If this gets any traction on YouTube, I might do a Finland part 2. But nonetheless, let's take it from the Finland people. Man, it's a peaceful culture. They're quiet, they're respectful, they're clean. Seems like a pretty cool place to live. So let's take a little note from them. The world's kind of crazy, kind of wild, kind of sad sometimes. But we're all going to make it. Let's use them as an example. If they can do it, we can do it here or wherever you're watching this. Australia, other places in Europe, Britain. I don't know where my show goes. I could look at the analytics, but I just don't really care right now. If you enjoy it, watch it. Anyway, we're all going to make it. We're all going to be all right. Don't judge me. I'm just doing my thing and you do yours. Peace. I'm out of here.